Adventure, an unusual, exciting, and possibly dangerous activity, such as a trip or experience, or the excitement even produced by such an activity. This is something a newfound friend and I both got to experience this summer of 2023. The Caribou National Forest, a place I have never been, and I don't think Casey had either. This place is located in southeastern portion of Idaho and is comprised of almost 1 million acres. There are over 20 developed campgrounds, of which 10 meet the selection criteria of a special forest area. The Caribou National Forest was not named for a member of the deer family. That's right. A graceful, hardy caribou never roamed the mountains and plains of what is now called the Caribou National Forest. The forest was named for the tall tales of a miner named Caribou Jack. His real name was Jesse Fairchild, and in 1870, Caribou Jack and 2 fellow miners had discovered gold near what is now the Caribou Mountains. This gold rush lasted 20 years, producing $50 million worth of placer gold, and it opened up the area to settlement like all gold rushes. Today, much of the land roamed by Caribou and his fellow miners is dotted with nice Forest Service managed camping locations surrounded by the magnificent southern Idaho landscape. Just before Caribou Jack's discovery, the first government-built wagon road in the west was just completed. It was named the Lander Trail. This road provided pioneers traveling west with a cutoff from the Oregon Trail to California. With the discovery of gold in Idaho, the Lander Trail provided easy access to the new gold fields for those who wanted to try their hand at the dream. Listed on the National Register of Historical Places, visitors can still see deep ruts made by wagons in the soil and find scattered carvings in aspen groves made by pioneers using the Lander Trail. Located in the Webster Range, northeast of Mill Canyon Campground, time spent exploring Lander Trail will add to one's appreciation of the trails, the trials, and accomplishments of our pioneering past. The time spent at most of the Caribou National Forest campgrounds will recall tales of our pioneering past. Campgrounds like Mill Canyons, with the woods of pine and fir trees next to a steep mountainside covered in sagebrush, wildlife wanders unafraid and with clear, fast flowing creeks. It only takes the scent of a campfire to help imagine Native Americans, wagon trains, miners, settlers, and cowboys passing by. The Caribou National Forest is not as large as some national forests in the Northwest, nor does it have the recreational diversity of its neighboring national forests. It is, however, a quiet, undiscovered forest with quality car, tent, motorhome, and recreational vehicle camping, super hiking, and magnificent wildlife viewing opportunities. This forest can take some effort to get to know, as Casey and I had found out, but it is well worth every visit. there's a brown one. Oh, there's some lamb. There's some little ones. Yeah, it's gonna smell like piss here real bad in just a second. Oh my gosh, you know what this reminds me of? Like a zombie movie. That's 2 brown ones with each other. 3, 4. Wonder what the one with the bell represents. Wonder what the one with the bell represents. There's bucking one. Babe. Oh, this is where they're gonna stay for the night.
Get that sons of bitches out of here. You're dusting up my dinner.
Oh shit, there they go. Whoa!
Guess maybe you didn't hear me. Thought we'd see some dogs on that move.
Look, they just start running for no reason.
Julio and the
Oh yeah. He's not
Get
even.
that son of a bitch out of here.
He's not even on. Oh, there he is. Like, you got some cowboy soup over here? Oh, they have a little puppy over there.
Don't worry, we're not hurting their sheep. Come on over, I'll give you a snack.
Well, my box is over there. I don't know. Yeah. Yep. Now here comes all the buddies. Hey guys.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, we'll get it on film.
You're fine.
That was the second night Curtis, Casey, and I had ever camped or hung out together. Now, let's go back to the beginning. Casey and I's meeting was not by chance. We met at 10 Roof Tacos in Meridian for the very first time, getting together to talk about what was in store for us and how this had came about. A longtime family friend and the best massage therapist I've ever met was speaking to me one day about how her husband had drawn a moose tag and had never been involved. I, on the other hand, had been involved in numerous occasions, whether it be direct or indirect, of moose hunting. Upon talking about it a few different times with her early in the year, she had finally given up his phone number, and we had a few short, fleeting text messages between each other. Finally, we met. He had brought his youngest daughter, and we consumed very good tacos. How are we going to deal with this? How am I going to explain my character flaws? How am I going to see if this guy is someone I could actually hang out with, and if he could actually put up with me and my interesting issues? This is not about me, so we won't get into it. But I did have to let him know that I do have arthritis, and I've got a disease that is kind of debilitating, and I like to try to do things like this to help me get off the couch, stay moving, and do the things I love the most, like hunting especially, and fishing, camping, so on. Around the June 2023 time frame, we started texting back and forth a little more, chatting on the phone a little bit, even getting together to possibly look at some maps and check out some apps and things that I had come across and he had come across. It was time to start doing our electronic scouting and deciding on when we're going to drive 6.5 hours away, only on weekends, and try to make the best of our physical scouting time in order to just figure out this whole new area and forest that I had never even been in. The bugs, the sheep, the dust, and the most random things, including mosquitoes, the size of mosquitoes in Alaska, were the only complaints until we started going a little more often. Rain was in the forecast every time, and when you're at 7,000 and above feet, there is no true forecast, we found out. Here is where I get into our camping. Every time we went after that first weekend, it rained. We had no tent. We were tough guys, so to speak. I was hoping I was still. Sleeping on cots under the stars, which is completely fine with me, but always being in the rain. It caused a couple of issues, but I'm not gonna lie. I think that's part of the definition of adventure.
Let our yearning take its time, find its place, we'll be fine. Find its place, we'll be fine. Let the rain wash us now and fall softly on the ground. Let our hearts be open wide and bear the tears that will not dry. Let the clouds disappear, carry the sorrow that we hold so dear. Let our yearning take its time, find its place, we'll be fine. Let the rain wash us now and fall. this place. We'll be
Wash
fine.
himself off after being in a mud hole. Had to winch around the bush.
They said the moose were in the water and the mud. They were wrong. So just before that, Sasquatch had appeared out of the trees and showed us how to use the winch, as Casey explained. If you listen closely, you can hear him in that last video. We went to a place we'd never known, and we saw Sasquatch, his cover was blown. But in all fairness, we were doing a lot of hiking, and I did not do a tenth of the hiking that Casey did. As a matter of fact, Casey was going on weekends, I didn't go. So, kudos to the big, strong dude, carrying lots of stuff, supplying me with a life straw when I needed a little bit of life. But I did have a lot of fun, and you'll hear thunder and lightning in this clip at the end, and I want to let you know, when you're at 9,000 feet where we were at, you get to hear and see some crazy things in thunder and lightning storms. And we were about 30 seconds away from witnessing a huge strike of lightning explode a tree for about 200 yards in every direction. Crazy as it may seem, we needed to jump in the side by side and get back to camp. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, just kidding. Back at camp, Casey's doing what he does best. That's making our dinner, whether we're on a small stove or his little jet boil. And he's usually reheating something that his wife Jersey has already made and was already awesome and perfect at a different time. The best camp food is always leftovers, in my opinion. Unless you got steak. But it didn't quite compare to a couple of the neat little cafes we found on the way. All in all, Labor Day weekend was not such a bust. We had actually done what we came to do. We traveled more roads that we couldn't travel before. We saw things that we thought were cool and could have seen again. And we were in situations that we didn't want to be in, but wouldn't necessarily not be in it again. We got to hang out and get a little closer, as with every trip. I got to learn each other a little better, see a few more things, and we may have even gotten to see Bullwinkle. The Bullwinkle we saw on this trip is another Bullwinkle we will see later. He may not be a shooter for us this year, but he's going to be an excellent shooter for someone in the future. Enjoy a few of these pictures, and we'll say goodbye for this Labor Day weekend. And in the next chapter will be the hard, long 8-day hunt.
Oof. Oof.